essence of the whole thing.
All right, let's move on. The legal travails of the immediate past governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, have taken a dramatic turn. In a landmark ruling, a federal high court sitting in Lagos ordered an interim forfeiture of $4.9 million and 830.9 million naira properties linked to the embattled Emefiele. Justice Yellim Bogoro made the order after an ex-parte application by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The case was adjourned to the 2nd of July for a motion for final forfeiture. BKO.
It's the right thing to do if you're investigating someone and some monies are traced to him or linked to him, and you suspect that these are proceeds of crime. You apply to the court to let you seize those funds. The court will grant you the power of interim forfeiture. Now, by the time the case is over and the accused person is unable to prove conclusively that those monies are not proceeds of crime, then the money will be lost permanently. Permanent forfeiture happens, and the money will then become that of the state. In the case of Emefiele, he has had to face 3 separate charges. They are not giving him any breather at all. As he's coming out of this court,
He's entering another
they
one.
are finding another reason to put him on trial in another court on a separate charge. It is looking like a desperate attempt to ensure that he does not escape. If he manages to survive this one, maybe he won't survive the second one. If he survives the second one, maybe the third charge, he will not, before a different judge, he will not survive. So that is the thing. And I've found some of the charges against him really interesting. Look at the fact that he's accused of printing the sum of 684.5 million naira at 18.96 billion. Did you hear that? That he printed naira notes amounting to 684.5 million at the tune of 18.96 billion. Is there any way anyone can explain that? That you wanted to print less than 700 million naira. You now spent 18.96 billion. I don't know how anyone can defend that, but then the matter is in court. He was also accused of approving the withdrawal of 124.8 billion from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. He was accused of receiving bribes, so specifically, among others, of receiving bribe to the tune of $400,000 from Source Computer. Then he also illegally received funds from companies like NIPCO, Raja Punfab, and corruptly received 26,552,000 from NIPCO alone, and received 7,072,000 naira from Raja Punjab, and allocated $291 million without bid. So the EFCC has come up with all kinds of, they are trying to build a solid case against him. Definitely, we cannot leave the Emefiele era uninterrogated. This man, as I always say, is the worst CBN governor in Nigerian history. I'm ready to debate with anyone who says otherwise. Let us look at the facts. You know, let's interrogate the facts. You cannot what he did, especially during the
Naira
repainting exercise.
Oh my God.
You cannot, you will even know that he does not have a sense of history. Because China, India tried to do the same thing. And they failed. They said there was black money all over the place. Black money means counterfeit money. That's what they call black money. And they decided to do what Emefiele did. Small and medium scale enterprises died. A lot of them died. It's the same thing that happened there. At the end of the day, what did they see? They got very little amount of black money that did not justify the exercise. So if these people had a sense of history, including the people who permitted him to go ahead with such a shitty project, they would have picked up valuable lessons from the fruitless exercise by China, by
India.
But they didn't. They were just giddy by the desperation to put that thing in place, believing that it will stop somebody from winning. Did it stop the person from winning? Did it? So how do you know how many Nigerians never recovered?
Yes.
Some couldn't pay their hospital bills.
Yes, most people died. Yes.
Many people's businesses have not recovered.
There are some Nigerians who do not even know about all of these charges, but for the fact that they suffered during that
Exactly. That one alone is a lesson. It's something that most Nigerians will never forget. Most Nigerians. Because I remember then, even when Nigerians were practically begging him to change his mind.
He said, I have no good news for you.
He said he has no good news
for you. He was already seeing himself
as a God.
God with the small letter G.
Yes. So sometimes when I see him carrying Bible that is as big as that of Moses,
Bible.
I just laugh.
This particular...
big Bible.
Of course.
This particular court order on the forfeiture of his properties, can it be appealed? Can it be set aside?
It can be appealed. But, of course, the judge, if it is an interim forfeiture, the judge is not likely to listen. Because he's not saying it's a permanent forfeiture. Come and prove.
You just prove.
Come and prove that these monies are not proceeds of crime. It's the standard, look at even for former President Goodluck Jonathan's wife. Also forfeited her money. In this same circumstances, you have to prove that it's not proceed of crime. If you can prove, they'll release it to you. So it's up to him.
Asukwo, some say this is a case of how life or fortunes can turn in a dime.
Exactly. So it means that wherever you are and whatever you are doing, always remember that there is one thing called tomorrow.
Power is transient.
That is it. Because I'm very sure he never believed that one day he will be going from one prison to the other and facing one judge to the other. Because he was thinking that he was the all and all. God gave you opportunity to become CBN governor for 4 years. After that, they gave you another term for you to come back. That should have even told you that is even God's grace.
And he was trying to contest for president.
That is where I'm going to. And so, even after that, you are already thinking about becoming president, which was even against our laws, completely. So I just read through all.
Took INEC to court.
Yes, now by proxy, he was using people, and people are. Oh my God! So I think it's a lesson.
The former president should have suspended him.
But
getting involved, because occupying that position, you must not get involved in politics.
In politics.
But this man, bought tons of vehicles, painted,
branded it and
branded in his image, and he was ready to contest for president. It's just so. Let's see how far you can go with this trial.
Because the thing is, I was just running through the properties that were, that the court actually granted interim forfeiture. The numbers are too long, and I was just wondering, how many houses, if you compare your age and the number of years you will be living, how do you know that you will live long for you to even enjoy this thing?
You see,
You know, but most people don't think of this.
Public officers in Nigeria, when they are stealing,
they don't have conscience.
Imagine that they have 2 lifetimes. Imagine that they have 2 lifetimes and that they will never even die.
And some steal for their children, their grandchildren.
You see, that is the most foolish thing about it. I've seen people build houses.
And their children?
For their children.
Yes.
They are massive
exactly.
yard. This castle, this one is for my first son. This one. They will get married. Their wives will take them somewhere. Yeah. They won't use the house for one.
Yes.
I've seen it.
Some won't even enter.
You build giant palaces that in the end you will not even have the life or good health to enjoy. Your own children that you believe that they will have no time for it. Some of their wives will take them abroad. You know, they will convince them, darling, let's go and settle down in Canada. Pronto.
And that's it.
They've gone. Those things that you built for them, rats, rodents,
yes,
they will take over. It shows that your thinking is shallow.
Yes,
you don't learn from others. Go around, you see in Abuja, you see people who have stolen. Abuja is the corruption capital of our country, not just the capital. You see them go to Asokoro and all those people.
Oh my God.
They've stolen money. They just build
the house and then lock it up.
They put AC.
Everything complete.
Nobody is occupying them.
Complete.
We need to come up with a law that permits government to take over those houses that these idiots have stolen, have built with stolen money. What is the meaning of that? We have a terrible housing deficit in our country.
Meanwhile, there are houses
for people living under
the bridge
and paying a fortune.
Yes.
And people have decided now to build houses that nobody is occupying. We must find a law that permits government to take over those buildings, at least, so that they will learn from it.
All right, let's move on quickly. The war of words between Nobel laureate Professor Wale Soyinka and the Vice